Hey yo, peace, power, progression. You don't know, you don't know. You're in the divine realms and in the divine frequency. And if right now you don't know what to go on, then you have to go check in the last videos and then go over there and then see. Because now we're present, you know. And today we're going to be in a reasoning session. We're going to reason about spiritual solitude in this time. You know, we right now, astrologically at the time that I create this video, are in the midst of a Mercury retrograde. And when Mercury go retrograde, it's a time for reflection and a time for inner work. Work on the inner and not try to go so much outside of yourself and then try to go out into the world and then work from there. So, you know, today we want to just build on the value and the benefits of spiritual solitude, going inside with yourself, getting to know yourself, being with yourself, spending time with yourself, and just what that whole thing about. So, you know, I gotta just start, you know, with saying that during this time, I find myself very much ingrained with myself and spending time to reflect on myself because, you know, the world can be a crazy place, but it's much more crazy when you have no control over your own mind, you see it. So I find the benefit of just sitting with myself that I learning how to engage with myself on a more personal level. I'm learning what I don't like. I'm learning what I do like. You know, it's like the more time you spend with yourself, the less time you have of external influences that tell you whether they accept you or whether they reject you. You spend less time away from people and their thoughts and their feelings and their energy and with them like to project forward onto you. Instead, you just spend more time inside of yourself. And when you sit with yourself, it's like you begin to learn the control over your own self, the control over your own mind, is it. So you begin to learn more control over your own mind and you begin to know what's going on inside of your own mind. You see, so in this journey where I just been sitting with myself, it's been teaching me more about who I am when I'm away from everyone else. And what you learn about who you are is that who you are may be very unfamiliar to ones and ones that may believe they know you. Because when you get a deeper understanding and a deeper connection into yourself, you learn that what's familiar to you and what's always been very familiar to you can be very unfamiliar to the ones who claim they have known you or the ones who believe they have known you or the ones who have seen you for a long time now. You know, so you might find people, when you go more into yourself, you might find that people begin to think that you are being something that you're not, or that you're being strange or you're acting different, or, you know, you might look a certain way to them, but them never know that you just go inside and you get a certain truth in yourself, a truth that you hid for so long, a truth that you suppressed for so long, a truth that you repressed for so long. So it's like, in my journey with my own solitude, I've been finding that I'm more sure and more certain of who I am and what I stand for and what I'm about because I don't have these external influences telling me what I should do, explaining what success is to me, explaining what my goals is to me. You know, just the whole of that, just trying to find some way to influence, control, or manipulate my direction, my natural essence. You know, and that's what the whole thing about when you spend time with yourself. You know, you take time to do things more with yourself. Instead of finding a friend to go live inside a life with and, you know, be a companion along your journey, you just maximize your experience. Because, you know, what enough ones and ones not really understand is that this life thing, yeah, is an experience. This life thing that we live in is an experience. So in this life experience, it's like you only have yourself, you only have your mind, you only have your body, you only have your nose, you know, the air you breathe through your nose, you only have your senses of taste. But you know, enough ones and ones really not look at all of them senses inside of them. They never check it and be like, what's my fingernail feeling like today? What's my fingerprint feeling like today, you know? Just the little things, because, or even say, what's my mind feeling like today? What am I thinking about? What's coming from my subconscious? That if I'm going out into the world and I'm doing all these things and I'm spending time everywhere, I keep hearing this little voice. I keep hearing, but I keep suppressing it. What's coming to the surface, you know? When you spend time with yourself, you begin to see things like this. You begin to take time to reflect and say, I have to make transformation. I have to make change. I have to find ways to make transformation, to make change in myself by letting go of all these things that I believe I had to be. So, you know, in my journey, spending time with myself, I realizing that I don't really have to be the things that I appear to people. You know, you could, when you see someone every day, they're expecting you to be the same person every day. They know you, the yesterday you. They know the last year you. They know years ago you. But they don't know you right now. And they don't know you in the future and who you're becoming and what you're looking at for yourself. They can't see that. All they see is what they know. So what happens is there's this mental projection thing that goes on like that. And you find yourself becoming the image that you knew yourself to be to those people and not your true self, your authentic self, your organic self, your real self. You find yourself being this perception. You see it. So in my time with solitude, in my time with myself, I've been finding I really not look for living no one perception no more. You know, instead my connection with the Almighty, my connection with life as it is, creation, and the process of creation, and nature, and just the eternal energy that lives inside of me, it's strengthened. And I feel my energy being more charged naturally. It's not like, say, my energy is very drained or I feel thrown. It's like a natural charge, because when you're in tune with yourself, you have a charge, a certain electric energy that you never get nowhere else. And see, what most ones and ones don't understand is that the only place that you can really exist and create from is your essence. If you're not in your essence, you're nothing. There is no creation. Because your essence is the only place you came to be. When you're not in your essence, you're spending time everywhere else but in your essence. You know. You really get to know yourself when you sit with yourself, when you live with yourself, so to speak. You know, you don't have to live alone to live with yourself. You see, most people can live alone and them still never live with themselves, because them living in them head and them thinking about work or them thinking about the next thing they have to do. But them not really sit down with themselves and they say, think about just them, or think about nothing at all. Think about nothing at all and just be. And notice as you be, how many things start to come up. How many thoughts start to come up. How many passions start to come up. How many desires. How many fears. How many worries. But the thing is this. All those things been coming up. They've been coming up the whole time. They've been coming up since you just been in existence. But the thing is, until that point where you get to spiritual solitude, you've been suppressing them and you've been repressing them. And they just been sitting so deep where you never even hear them no more. It was just once a little whisper, you know. Hey, start that business. Hey, where if it build? Where if it go somewhere else? It was a small little whisper. But then over time, you know, you go around people and you just be around people and you hear that small whisper just get smaller, 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 and smaller. And you can't hear it no more. And it just gets so small that you can't hear it. So, you know, spiritual solitude is a major, major part of reclaiming your own spirit, of reclaiming your own essence, of reclaiming your own soul. Spiritual solitude. So, yeah, you know, not to keep it prolonged, but, you know, just to give that wisdom, just a little channel of reasoning and just spiritual solitude and, you know, my journey on it. And it's something that I recommend for everyone, you know. If you're not taking no time for yourself, you're gonna get consumed by the world and you lose yourself. Sometimes what you'll find in this journey is that listening to yourself will make an enemy of you amongst the whole world. But sometimes you have to trust yourself more than the whole world. Because that's when you find that the world is mad. Because the world done gone crazy, all of the things that have been programmed, that them never stop in question. And them never take that space for solitude. So sometimes when you take solitude, you might feel crazy. But sometimes when you feel crazy, that just means you're finding the truth. You know, so I just gotta leave you with that, you know. If you appreciate it or if you enjoyed this video, you know, you already know what to do. Tap in, tune in, subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment on how it helped you. Leave a comment on what your spiritual journey as far as solitude has, you know, offered you. What has solitude offered you along your journey and your path? So, yeah, that's just the reasoning today, you know. Until next time, peace, power, progression to the creative, righteous children. Catch your blessings. Catch your E-ray. Stay irie. Okay. Ah, shit.